So hello guys, my phone cut off. I was trying to show you my cat, who probably doesn't want to be seen anyway, but I'm in the midst of making the tofu meat and it's turned out pretty good. I need to turn the volume back on the stove because it came off when that happened. I had to readjust things. So while the tofu meat is cooking, I'll show you what it looks like right now. So this is it right here, the tofu meat, getting the light here. That's what the tofu meat looks right now. I'm gonna add some tomato sauce to it as it cooks a little bit longer, and maybe some more spices. So all through the process of making this kind of meal, you might want to taste it just to see if it's the right spices for you or how much you need. So, and this is the tomato sauce I'm gonna put in there. I just buy a can of tomato sauce, and it's good to have around if you want to make meals like this. It's gonna be like a taco. Like taco meat is what I'm making, like chicken taco meat. I'm making these curry potatoes, and it sounds like a weird meal. Curry potatoes, like a chicken, like a taco meat. But mainly I'm doing that because I'm going to also make taquitos, and I think I may saute up some kale because we have some kale to go along with it. So you get all the nutrients you need. You get your greens, you get your potatoes, and you got your tofu. So let me grab a knife and we'll get to cutting up these potatoes. So I'm just going to cube the potatoes, and I leave the skins on. You can take the skins off. Just make sure you clean the potatoes off first. So basically cutting it up. When you bake it in the oven, that gives it a head start, so you won't have to wait too long for the cubed potatoes to be done. And it gives it an interesting crispy taste when you pre-bake the potatoes in the oven. So I like making these curry potatoes. It's something that everybody seems to like in the family. I'm going to put some oil in this pan for when we get ready to get these potatoes going. And you don't want the heat up too high because, especially like I said, if you're using olive oil, don't have it up too high. So if you didn't know, part one, I was showing you how to make the tofu different than most people make it. You freeze it 3 times, and then you can prepare it, and the texture is a lot different. It's a lot easier to work with. It takes more like a meat texture, if that's what you're going for. I dropped a potato. I gotta rinse this potato off. So yeah, you just cut them up in cubes, and then you'll throw them into a frying pan with some oil in it. Make sure it's enough oil so it doesn't stick. If you're doing one layering of cubed potatoes in the pan, then you don't have to have a lot of oil in it, but you need an extra amount of oil if you're putting a ton of cubed potatoes in at once, because you're turning it over, letting it cook, and then turning it over. So yeah, I just thought I'd do a nice little cooking show for you guys this evening because people have requested these kind of things, and I just haven't had time to do it. So I'm going to take those potatoes that I cut so far and put them into the frying pan. So we'll pause this and I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, here I am. I'm getting ready to put the potatoes into the frying pan. At least you can see the food, and even if you can't see me, you can at least see the food. So just put the potatoes in the oil. If you want, you could use a bigger pan. That way you could put more potatoes in there and cook more at one time. I should have done that, but it's no big deal. You can cook them in batches. So I've got a considerable amount of oil on the bottom of the pan, but that's only because I don't want it to stick. And if you end up getting too much oil in there, you don't want it too oily, you can always drain out the oil. So I'm going to cut up the rest of these potatoes. Let me show you what these look like so far in there. So that's what the potatoes look like in the pan, in the oil. See? So yeah, I'm going to cut up the rest of the potatoes. And I might do these in batches actually, because it might be too many potatoes to layer on top of the other. So what I'm gonna do to season this is grab the curry powder because that's the main ingredient for these cubed curry potatoes. So let's go. Yeah, these spices are easy to find. I mean, nowadays you could find these kind of spices and they have like a special section in your grocery store sometimes. A regular grocery store was like an ethnic aisle and they'll sell like curry in a container, or you can go and get it in bulk at a health food store, and that's how I've been getting it. So I'm gonna put some of this chili powder in here too, dash of chili powder. You can get crazy with, if you have jalapeno peppers, jalapeneros, you can chop up a few of those bad boys and put those in there too. So where's that salt at? Here we go. So this is how much salt I have left in my mortar and pestle. I'm gonna put some salt on top. And I salt it to taste, meaning, and spice it to taste all through the cooking process. I'm gonna be, spicing it. So let's go on over here and look at the faux chicken meat. So we got this right here going on. See that? There's the faux chicken meat. Let me see what the texture of it tastes like. Let me put you guys down so taste the texture of this chicken meat. This faux chicken meat. It's cooking really nicely too. Let me just take a little bit, grab a fork here. So here I am, I'm back. It's like an angel, huh? So here's some of that. Let's see how it tastes. Is that texture? Is that texture? It tastes like chicken. I don't know. It's delicious. You can just leave it as is if you want it. But I'm gonna add some tomato sauce to it and put you over here. You can see what I'm doing, where I am. With that bright light on me. So there we go. Alright. So yeah, I'm gonna put a tad bit of this in here. Let me move you over here a little bit more. A little bit closer to me. Did that work? Jeez, we can't get a good spot here anywhere, huh? I'll just put you right here for now. I'm trying to get you out of the direct light. Yeah, this is like so pro, isn't it? Alright, let's try something else. What else can I use that I haven't used yet? There we go. Just trying to prop you up, that's all. Okay, so sorry about that bright light in my face, but yeah, just pretend I'm an angel. Cooking you an angelic meal. And this is going to be vegan, actually. I am also going to be making something that's non-vegan, too. Because I'm not a vegan. I do still eat fish. I'm not objectionable towards eating vegan. But I eat primarily vegan. But I eat fish every now and then. And I might be preparing some tonight. So, did I drop some of it? It tastes really good. It's gonna need more salt though. That's what I mean by having to season it all the way through the process, because it absorbs a lot of the flavors and spices. So you want to make sure you continue to add and taste it as you go. So I'm gonna add some of this tomato sauce in it. And I say this is probably about 2 tablespoons of tomato sauce that I put in here. You see that? There it is. 2 tablespoons of tomato sauce to that. So we're gonna stir it up. It's gonna make it like taco meat. So what I'll do is I'll add more chili powder to it. And really get that flavor to it. And as we're cooking the taco meat, the curry potatoes are coming along swimmingly. I'll bring you over there so you can see it. It may look like a lot of oil. That's the curry potatoes so far. But what I'm going to be doing is when these are done, I'll drain them out of the oil and then I'll add another batch to cook in there. So it's actually not that much oil considering how I'm cooking it. It may seem that way, but it's not. You want to turn them over periodically to make sure they're not sticking. And if you have a pan that sticks where food sticks to it easily, then you're gonna have to put more oil in the bottom of the pan, because otherwise it's gonna stick and it's gonna burn and it's gonna be a mess. So, one of my breads is escaping. It's escaping from its cage. But yeah, this is basically how I made it. That's the reason why I decided to share it with you, is because I found it through some videos that I watched on YouTube, and I thought I'd share with you guys because I thought it would be nice to have something different. If you're somebody who doesn't want to eat meat anymore, or just wants to take a break from eating meat all the time, eating chicken or beef or whatever, this is a good alternative, and it's a healthy alternative. So it's coming along well. Everything's coming along well. I don't know if I'm going to make a full-on video about it to finish it, how it tastes at the end and all that, if I have enough time on my phone. But so far this tofu is tasting really good. Yeah, can you see it? You see it to believe it. You hear me smacking? That's very it's very ladylike, isn't it? But yeah, it's turning out good, and I don't know if I want you to stick around to wait for it, because I have a phone, a camera, and only have so much time. But yeah, what you could do is saute some greens with it, and have greens on the side with it, with the potatoes, if you didn't want to make like taquitos, because that's what I planned on doing. But as it's getting later, because it's like past 10, I think I'm just gonna have it like as meat on the side, like a taco like meat on the side, along with the potatoes and some sautéed kale. Actually, you can go get the kale. I'll show you how to prepare that. It's very simple, and then I'll end this video. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So I got some of this curly kale. Let me get you into the light so you can see it. I got some of this curly kale. It's really good and fresh. I'm gonna saute that up. And basically, sauteing vegetables is way easy, okay? There's nothing to it. All you gotta do is chop up the vegetables, put them in a pan with some oil in them, and watch them. Make sure you don't burn them. But with the kale, you wanna make sure you rinse it too, because sometimes it'll have dirt and stuff in it. So I'm gonna pause this. I'll be right back. All right, I decided to bring you over here to the sink with me. I'm gonna rinse out the kale. Definitely try to remember to rinse out your produce before you use it, so that you don't end up with dirt and all kinds of other weird shit in your vegetables and your fruits. I'll bring the chopping block over here since the lighting is so much better over here. So basically, I'm gonna chop up some of this kale. I'm gonna add some fresh garlic to it. I think I'll keep it simple, just kale, fresh garlic, and if you ever wanted to, you could add carrots to it. And then there's that one dreadlock just hanging out. Somebody complained about my hair being out when I was cooking, and hey, sometimes that shit happens, okay? It's not like anyway, I don't need to explain myself. My hair was out. It's not like I was scratching my ass and then eating, so. Alright. Sense of humor. Everybody needs one. So what I'm going to do now that I got the kale cut up, I'm going to get another pan out so that I can put the kale on there to saute. I'm going to move this. Let me bring you over here. Oh, sorry. Bumped. I'm going to move this taco meat to the back so it can just kind of simmer. Take it at a low cooking temperature. That's kind of nice, because then the spices can marinate. I mean, not marinate, can saturate the tofu, because the tofu pretty much just absorbs the spices, just like meat does, regular meat. If you were to eat regular meat without any spices or anything on it, it wouldn't taste good. It would taste bland. So that's all it is with tofu. When you spice alternative meats, you just spice them the way you would eat them if you were eating meat. So like ground beef, you want it to taste more like ground beef, use same spices, like maybe ground pepper, salt. If you're trying to make tacos, like taco meat, you can use sage and oregano if you're trying to make like a sausage, and um, you can use habaneros and make it a spicy sausage or whatever, you know. So there you go. So I'm gonna get another pan so that I can hook up that kale. So it's a good idea to try to have as much as you can, a well-rounded meal, whether it's dinner, lunch, or breakfast, whatever it is. Try to get all of those food groups in. So, and I'm not talking about the standard American diet either. So, anyways, okay, this is on. So now what I need, I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil in this pan. See if I can turn you so you can see what I'm doing. Can you see what I'm doing now? Okay, here's the pan. All right, you can kind of see what I'm doing. What if I moved it over more? Okay. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of the pan. Not that much. Probably like a good tablespoon's worth of olive oil is what I use. Don't want it up too high. So it's up, but not high. So I'm gonna bring this kale over here. All this kale that I cut up, I'm gonna put it into the pan to saute. There's another recipe you can do with kale too. There's so many recipes, but one that's really fun is if you have a dehydrator, you can take your kale, mix it with a little bit of oil, like olive oil, coconut oil, nutritional yeast, salt, and maybe some chili pepper if you want a little spice to it. Mix it up really good, and then put that mixture onto parchment paper inside of a dehydrator. Like let it dehydrate overnight, and then the next day you'll have like a really nice treat. It's kale chips, and it tastes. Sometimes when I make it, tastes like Doritos. So, and it's a healthy health food snack. That's not going to be filled with all kinds of fucking chemicals and trash like a lot of health food unhealthy snacks are. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up some garlic and put it in here at the end. But I'm going to chop out the garlic now, but I put the garlic at the end when I'm cooking with garlic, because when you're cooking with garlic, it could tend to burn really easily. So it seems like garlic has a lot of sugars in it. And that sounds silly, but anyway, when I cook with garlic, put it on at the end. Don't add it in while you're making it because it's gonna burn. So, and that's how it is with any kind of like say if you're cooking with onions, you're sauteing, put the onions and garlic in last, and then you'll see it won't burn. It won't taste like burnt garlic or burnt onion. I don't like that taste. So let's come over here and look at these potatoes. Because you already got the basis of how to make the tofu chicken I've been making. So look at this. See the potatoes here? Looking beautiful. These curry potatoes. So I'm going to have to turn them over. I like to use this spatula. It's really good for doing that. It's a really good tool. So that way, if it's sticking, it'll be able to unstick it. So you don't have to bake the potatoes beforehand, but it just takes longer. And the texture of the potato tastes a little bit different when you don't bake it beforehand. It doesn't taste bad, but it's just different. Sometimes it ends up being more crispier when you use baked potatoes for it. It does have a crispier taste. So yeah, everything's looking good. I got the tofu meat here. It's like tasting like chicken, spicy chicken meat. I've got the kale cooking right now, and then I've got the curry potatoes. So hey, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's video on how to spin around the kitchen, on how to make tofu in a different way, because not everybody knows about this. People think of tofu, they just it's just those cubes, those really strange cubes that I find in stir fries. But there's so much you can do with it to make it taste a certain way. Like last few times I did this process with freezing it twice, the tofu block. I used it as fried chicken. I made fried vegan fried chicken out of it, and it tasted really good. The texture was on point. So yeah, everything's going good over here in the kitchen. Sorry to say I can't report to you about it after it's done because by then, this is delicious though. That meat, it tastes like actual meat. But I just wanted to share that with you guys. And some of the things you could put alongside of this meat. So, alrighty guys, I hope you enjoy it. I'll probably have some more videos, cooking videos to come soon. I just thought I'd share this with you. I haven't had time to because I've been busy with the move and everything. And packing and doing all kinds of crazy shit. So, dealing with people coming to our door and asking if they can see the house and we haven't even moved out yet. Because that kale is going. Look at that kale go. I love the smell of kale. You can also, like, if you made a lot of kale, you could also put it into an omelet. So, that's another choice. So, alrighty guys. I will see you soon. Eat healthy as you can. In this day and age, it's hard, but do the best you can. Try to get as much fruits and veggies into your diet. I hope you enjoyed this show this evening. Brightest blessings to you all, and I will see you soon.